Good afternoon, everyone. This is Group 44, and we were assigned the question of about how to use problem-based learning, on how we can facilitate teaching in our lessons. When I think you all know that we are almost going for school practice, and you can also use it as a way of teaching. So this is our presentation. So I beg that you give us our ears and listen very well to whatever we are going to present. So this is problem-based learning, group 44. And these are our group members, as you can see. So the question is, what is problem-based learning? Because we cannot take you into the procedure before we tell you what problem-based learning is. And as you can see on the screen, is problem-based learning is a student-centered pedagogical approach. Pedagogical, when we say pedagogical, we mean is a teaching approach that emphasizes the active engagement of students in real-world problems. Okay, students are given chance to solve problems, not by feeding them with content already, but you present them some kind of problem and you give them a chance to solve it. Like to solve it without you first telling them what they are going to use it, what content they are going to use to solve it. But you give them a chance to use their brains and solve a certain problem. As we can see on this next slide, is saying that students are presented with complex and challenging problems that require them to apply knowledge and skills from multiple disciplines to develop solutions. This approach is designed to promote critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication students, among others. Before we continue, you can also see that it is actually very good because it gives students different kinds of skills like problem solving, communications, because they are given chance to use their thinking capacity to solve problems, not capacities of memorizing. That way we can see on this other side how different it is from traditional teaching. Because with traditional teaching, students are told what they need to know. They are not given a chance to use their brains to figure out, to solve problems, but they are just told what they need to do. Then they are told to go and cram and memorize it. Then after that's when the problem is assigned, so that they can just like copy and paste. Because they were already told the problem, given answers, they are just told to go and memorize. And it's very different from this one, because here students are assigned a problem, then they identify what they need to know, and they do it by themselves. You as a teacher will just come to clarify on what they have already talked about. So basically that's what we can talk about problem-based learning. As you can see how different it is from traditional learning. So I won't take your time. Let me call upon my second member to come and talk about the other information to be shared. Mr. Kato, you can come.
Good afternoon. My name is Kato Drake Mutunji, biology chemistry teacher. So I'm going to take us through the implementation process of the problem-based learning. So, what are the considerations that you are going to consider first of all? First of all, you have to present the problem as an instructor. So the first thing is presentation of the problem. What is that problem that you want students to present issues about? And another thing is the assignment should be short, meaning that students must engage themselves in that building up of knowledge, in that they do not complicate things, because if they are wide enough, they'll be able to figure them out. And the last one, that should be group oriented. to involve sharing of knowledge and the collaboration. And so we're going to go for the procedures that are involved. So this is a summary. Other group members are going to elaborate on each step. So the first step, we shall first identify and define the problem, and then the next step is to organize the group how they are going to discuss about the problem. And then the third one is encouraging students to research and analyze the problem that you have given. And then next, the students have to develop solutions after analyzing that problem. And then, as a teacher, you have to evaluate students' learning upon basing on what the solutions are given for that problem. And then reflecting learning, and then revising on the students' feedback. So I'm going to first elaborate on the first step. The first step involves defining the problem. It is the role of the instructor, like us teachers, to define the problem to the students whom we are going to teach. What does this step involve? First of all, it involves assigning the students a real world problem that is relevant to students' lives and interests. So the first basic the basic requirements for that problem to be able to be assigned to them, first of all, it has to be open-ended. Students may have to be able to create ideas, generate ideas upon it. And the next one is that it should be able students should be able to provide ideas from different disciplines or perceptions, maybe biology or what. Like, for example, it may not be the real problem or questions that are written in literature, but you can create it in that it can stimulate the thinking of learners. For example, if the teacher, as I am a biology teacher, I can tell students, how comes that people urinate frequently during cold weather? There is no literature writing anything about that, but it might stimulate students to go and read, to explore a different literature, in that they can do what? They can find a way of solving that question. Thank you very much. I'm going to call upon the next presenter to come and take us to the next.
Good afternoon, teacher trainees. I'm teacher Nange Francis. I'm also going to continue from where my friends have stopped about how we can use problem-based learning to foster students' learning. I'm going to talk about step 2, whereby I make sure I organize my class into groups. For example, if I have a group of 40 students, I can group them into groups of 8, and those ones can make up to 5 groups. After making those groups, I make sure I tell my students to mix up. For example, I encourage them, boys should mix with girls, so that they should share different abilities. And I also make sure they should not be in the same group when they are maybe the whole group is full of tribe mates, the same tribe mates, or the whole group is full of friends. So that can help them to develop different abilities and learn more learning skills from each other. One of the importance of grouping my students, it helps them to share different ideas and also come up with different approaches on the real life question or problem that I have assigned to them. For example, I can tell them that you go and read about what food insecurity is. After that, you also go and talk about the causes of food insecurity. You also talk about the effects of food insecurity, and in that aspect, each student can be assigned to a different task or responsibility to go and research about that aspect of food insecurity. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I'm teacher Nale Wycliffe, a teacher of history and RSD. That's the divinity, or Shara. I'm going to take you through step 3, how we can use problem-based learning to foster learning. And I'm going to talk about research and analyze. As your teacher, you have to give students tasks. This helps them, or it encourages students to research and analyze the problems. And this will provide them with relevant resources. For example, as your teacher, you have to provide them with articles, books, videos, like you can even provide them with magazines, things of that nature. Then this will facilitate discussions and help them understand problems, generate questions, and develop hypotheses. When I talk about hypothesis, this simply means proposed explanations made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigation. In simple terms, it may also mean an assumption taken to be true for the purpose of argument or investigation. Thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Yes, good afternoon, fellow teacher trainees. I'm Teacher Atiponza Ronald. I'm talking about step 4. As my colleague has discussed, step 3 about research and analyzing, giving students guidelines on how to do the research. Here, I'm talking about how to develop, how you as a teacher, as an instructor, you hope the learners to come up with the clear solutions about the problem that they are handling or they are talking about. What we are talking about is that you hope them, whereas they are in the group, to be collaborative, to be imaginative and able to think beyond what they can, using the books that have been provided to them, the magazine, the videos I've watched, so that they come up with a clear solution of the problem that has been set up by the instructor, we as the teachers that we have given to them, so that they come up with a clear solution. So as you as a teacher, after you have done all that, the solutions have come up, so that you are able to evaluate and see the effectiveness of the research has come up very well on the study that you have given them, so that you bring out the clear solutions of the problem. I thank you. Let me not take your time. Let me welcome my colleague to take us in step 5.
Good afternoon, teacher trainees. I'm Zaya Abubakar, a biology chemistry teacher, and I'm here to take you through step 5. Yeah, as my previous colleague has just said, he has just discussed the step 4, and it's all about developing solutions. So I'm here to talk about presenting the developed solution. So after students have discussed in their various groups, so yeah, you inform them to present their solutions to you. Yeah, the group leaders, they will need to present their findings to the rest of the class, and they may present their solutions in different ways. They may need either make a video or they do it orally. Yeah, in different modes of presenting to the rest of the class in that. Yeah, that's all I can talk about presenting solutions to the rest of the class. Thank you.
Good afternoon, teacher trainees. I'm Dr. Good afternoon, teacher trainees. I'm Teacher Mbange Ronald, fellow teacher trainee of biology and chemistry. As we are trying to develop possible solutions, I'm going to explain the point of evaluate learning. Like as my fellow colleagues have explained the above points, here when it comes on evaluating learning, it means that as a teacher, you have to assess your students at the end of the lesson. That means that if you have provided them like a question, you have to evaluate them. How do they interact? How do they generate answers? How do they think? Like you can say that evaluate the student's learning by assessing their ability to analyze the problem. So like they can develop an hypothesis. An hypothesis, as one of my colleagues explained it, like it is a theory of evidence. So that a student may explain a point basing on the true evidence on certain theories, or they can generate solutions, also evaluate their ability to work collaboratively. Like you can tell them to discuss a certain question, like each student may give his or her own view about answers they have, so that they can share and pick the most correct answer. Also, through this evaluation, you can evaluate their communication, whereby how do they interact when they are discussing certain questions, when they are thinking about those questions. That is what I can talk about evaluation of learning. I'm calling myself
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Andrew. I'm doing Bachelor of Science, Biology and Chemistry, but majoring in Biology. Actually, I'm a proud biologist. My previous discussion, I've been discussing about the previous stage 6, which involves evaluation. Having done all those, you reach a stage where you have to reflect on what has been taking place inside the classroom. So this reflection is very important, because in spite of all the learning process that have taken place, students have to go back with something. You have evaluated, you have known something, but now what have these people picked? What are the main issues, the main point that will remain with these people forever, and it will be helping them in the environment? Say maybe if you had posted a problem, say maybe a topic like environmental degradation, what will these people be able now to pick? And it will be reflecting in their mind. You know that by doing that, you have to discuss maybe the solution. What's the solution to how we can solve this issue of the degradation? So, what now have to come in is, of these people, you have to, as they move in day-to-day life, what should they be able to do? For instance, if we have talked about that topic, you must be able to know that your student knows that wherever I move in an environment, I should not be able to throw like bottles, I should not be able to throw like polythene, because these are the things which cause degradation to the environment and very many other things. That is in as far as, say, step 7 is concerned, it is very important. Now, having done that, you have to do now the last stage, and that is to revise. You have to revise what you have given, how the overall process have taken place. Having gone through all those other stages, evaluation, what, and very many others, you have to check. Maybe check the problem you pose to the student. Check their interest. And then you see how you as a teacher, what can you do to make this learning more interesting? Maybe even in the next lesson, all those ones. You have to check and you have to evaluate. You have to put modification and you have to know how to modify these things so that you build a very nice class that have high ability to solve different problems. So that is the final stage that we have in first that is concerned. So that is revision. You have to revise. That is the last step, and in this revision is very important. Is what I've just talked about. You have to check the overall process, what have taken place. You have to modify the problem in case they are not gone maybe very well, and what form of other resource could you use? Maybe if you have been using like a video, you may modify other form. You bring again like magazine, all those ones. It will be able to facilitate and simulate your learners pretty very well, and the next class would be an interesting class. Thank you very much. We have been able to come to the end of our discussion. We were able to look at the different ways how we can use problem learning approach, the different stages, where you have to define the problem, you have to organize the group, you have to research and analyze, you have to develop the solution, you have to present the solution, you have to evaluate how the learning has taken place, then you reflect and later you revise. I think we beg to stop here and we say thank you very much as you proceed in your previous. Thank you very much.